This is Pop Culture Confidential, and I'm Christina Yerling Biru. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest dispatch from the Cannes Film Festival. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by the brilliant and effortlessly cool Stellan Skarsgård. He's here with Joachim Trier's much-anticipated Sentimental Value, a strong Palme d'Or favorite this year and a real knockout for me. In it, Stellan delivers a remarkable performance as Gustav, a once-renowned director who re-enters his estranged daughter's life to offer her a role in his comeback film. I caught up with Stellan for a quick but wide-ranging conversation here at Cannes. We talk about the film, the state of cinema in an uncertain world, art and redemption, a little bit of Andor, and yes, how he makes sure there's good catering on set. This certainly isn't his first time in Cannes. He's been here many times before, including with Breaking the Waves and other collaborations with the other Trier, Lars von Trier, Out of Competition with Terry Gilliam, and he's here this year also. He's featured in a new documentary about legendary Swedish director Bo Widerberg. And this year, he's not the only Skarsgård in Cannes. His son, Alexander Skarsgård, is also in town, earning raves for his performance in the wonderful film Pillion. I'm here with Stellan Skarsgård. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
What attracted you to this role as the director that you play in Joachim Trier's new Sentimental Value?
Well, first of all, I wanted to work with Joachim. I've seen his films, and he's an incredibly talented director. But it was also, I read the script and the character in it. He's a film director who hasn't spent much time with his children, really. And the kind of conflict that occurs that has in terms of his daughter's reactions and different reactions to it interested me too, because I'm a father and I've not always been at home, but I've been home a lot. But and you get your children, they don't think you're perfect, and they let you know that you're not perfect, and so it's a good sort of pond to stir around in.
I was thinking of, you're also in a movie that's here about Bo Widerberg. He was very personal. The movies he made, he brought himself into. I was wondering if you at all have modeled this director on any of those incredible directors you've worked with, and how you feel about the director doing such personal work.
I've worked with 150 directors, I think. Yeah, but I know directors more than any other profession in the world, but I'm not modeling it on any specific one. But I tried to do a portrait of a person that is passionate about his work, whatever it is, and a person who is expressing in an art form himself, and can express himself in an art form, maybe only in an art form. And that's interesting, because that is also one of his handicaps in terms of relationships, that he is so good at expressing himself in film, but not so good at expressing himself as a private person.
As many of us.
As many of us, yeah.
Yes. It seems that the themes of this movie are very much about art and redemption. So I'm thinking here at Cannes, there's been so much talk about Trump tariffs and what's happening in cinema. And you work both in small movies and big movies. You're producing this. Your heart is so much in this. How do you feel that the film industry should tackle what's happening?
Well, it's the question is much bigger, really, than the film industry. How shall I say to my children, I'm sorry we've destroyed the environment, the world, we've taken care, we've stolen everything of your future. But now we're going to buy weapons for millions and millions and millions of kronas. And you get to pay them in the future.
Yeah. How do we do that? How do we explain that?
How do you explain it?
Maybe art can help a little bit.
Yeah, well, maybe, I mean, sometimes you got to laugh at it because it's so stupid and it's so funny. It's human beings are the most beautiful thing that exists and the most stupid thing that exists at the same time. And the most brutal thing that exists, and the nicest thing that exists.
But I was thinking you do that very much in Andor, Tony Gilroy. You talk a lot about, I really feel that it's so timely in terms of this, what's going on right now. How do you feel about this latest season of Andor and what he's saying about?
Well, Tony says himself that he's based it on 6,000 years of human experience,
which is so depressing because it means history repeats itself.
Yeah, well, it's not only. I mean, you see. I mean, the time of happiness and prosperity are very. Those times are very few, and due to human stupidity, and it just happened to become extremely accurate or timely this series, because he started writing it for 5-6 years ago, and Trump hadn't even won then, but there were always already. You can probably make this series whenever, and it will always be timely, because there's always somewhere in the world that people are massacred and killed, and there's always somewhere in the world where people are lying to you and trying to get into power.
Going back to this film with Joachim Trier, you work a lot. I mean, you're Swedish, obviously, but you work a lot in Norway. Why is that?
It's one reason is Hans-Peter Moland, that I worked with several films in Norway. We're very good friends. And it's also because I've got better roles there. I got more interesting roles.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's maybe Swedish cinema has been sort of hampered by trying to be too proper, too righteous, to do things, express the reality from a certain accepted point of view. But I'm not sure about it. I mean, Ruben Östlund has sort of taken his films to another level, and does a fantastic job in being the leading comedian in Sweden when it comes to film. And Tarek Saleh makes
also here.
Who's also here, and he makes very interesting films and very in a very difficult. It's a very difficult position to make films about anything that has to do with the Middle East, as you know. So it's he gets shit from everywhere, and he's trying to explore what's what has happened after the.
So courage is what he's.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Cannes memories that you've been here many, many times, of course, but with the other Trier. In 2011, I remember that press conference that he had. That took some. That caused quite a stir.
Yeah, it was the year that Cannes had the subtitle the freedom of speech, because there were a couple of Iranian films in there, and that's the year he got kicked out because he used his freedom of speech. But it was only, I mean, everybody in that room, that press conference room, everybody knows him. Everybody knows that he's not a Nazi. Everybody knows that he got a little lost in a couple of jokes that he was trying to make, but it was nothing big, really. But when they wrote their articles and sent them out, I took I met a journalist from Hollywood Reporter, and I said, "What the fuck did you do? How could you treat him like that?" And I said, "But I didn't do it. I wrote the article, and then the rubriksättare, what do you call it? The headlines. The headlines. They said it. They said the headline was Lars von Trier, I'm a Nazi." And and still, when I'm in the States, people ask me, "How can you work with that Nazi?" And it's so stupid.
Yeah, because you were here already with Breaking the Waves, of course.
Yeah.
Do you see, can you work again with that Trier?
With that Trier?
Yes.
It depends on how if he gets better.
Yeah.
He's got Parkinson. And
yeah. I hope so. I hope you'll make it.
I really hope so.
I want to ask you, because I was at the screening of Pillion with your son, Alexander, which was an incredible movie. He was very, very taken, I saw at the end, with the applause. Does he ever come to you for film advice?
No. We work together sometimes, but all my kids, they have made their own decisions throughout their careers, and they're self-made men.
But what I think they do is that what you do is that you go from a very huge Hollywood project to something very close, small, maybe even producing yourself. It seems that several of them are doing that as well.
Yeah. They see that it's possible, and they see that I enjoy myself doing it.
You're producing this one as well. Why did you want to do that?
Well, why do they want to call me producer? I didn't want to do I went down in pay a little, and then I made sure that everybody had good catering on the show. So
they're very grateful.
So it's actually, I'm producing the catering of this film.
Thank you very much. I think that's my time. Good luck with this.
Thank you very much.